Spin back the other way so you don't get dizzy.
I'm actually
This is it for an hour and a half. Whoa! And welcome. Hi, look at you.
Hi.
Look at you there in the internet. What's this?
We're breaking down the barriers, Tom.
Breaking
There
down
is
the
no
barriers.
forbidden door anymore.
There isn't, is there?
I broke it down.
Was it you doing that last night?
I broke the doors down.
Look at
Break
him.
down the doors.
Look how excited we are.
Very excited.
It's flipping WrestleMania weekend, and it is Cultaholic Live. My name is Tom Campbell. I am with Andrew Hodkinson, Cowboy Andrew. There he is. There's his face. What a boy. Are you all right, mate?
I'm good, thank you, buddy. What about you?
I'm doing. Do you know what? Considering I'm running on 4 hours sleep and adrenaline, we're doing good.
Yeah.
We'll start with a little bit of the sad boy news.
Yeah.
This is the penultimate edition of Cultaholic Live. So we're doing this show today. We're doing another one tomorrow, and then that is it. It's been a good, fun little experiment.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being a part of it. It's been a deep joy. We're spending 90 minutes chatting about the last wrestling show with you, but this is the penultimate one that we're doing. So you've got today and tomorrow, and then that is the end. So if you want to interact with us and talk about the wrestling from last night, you can do so via the Super Chat option on the YouTube. And we're mainly talking about WrestleMania Night 1, and we're giving out some lovely, lovely grades for that show as well. But I think we roll right in.
I think do. Well, we'll do a quick super chat here because thank you so much to the veteran trainer 88 who's been a member for 6 months in a row. That's lovely. That's nearly a baby. 3 months away.
It's nearly
and you will
a
pop a baby out of that bussy. Thank you so much. Cultaholic is live. Give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, we will
I'm
give
excited.
you the hellest of hell yes. Thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you so much.
We have Dan with us as well, and a big shout out to Dan, who is currently behind the scenes. Say hello, Dan.
Go on, Dan.
There he is. He's such a good boy. So there he is.
Hello.
Dan
I
Cam.
got the name slates the wrong way around. You're in the wrong chairs. My bad. That's my bad.
It's cool.
Did you?
Hey.
Well, do you know what? I'm hoping that people would know the difference between us by now.
You
It's
think
not
so,
like
right?
we're twins.
We're getting took off air. Who cares? Just smash the gaffer.
We've been cancelled, brother. This is how the show's going to end. Dan, did you enjoy WrestleMania?
I did. Oh,
Get yourself back on the
Ask
screen.
yourself.
asking me questions? Yes, I did.
you enjoy
I very
WrestleMania?
much enjoyed WrestleMania. Such a good show. And I'm glad
Yeah.
they didn't tell us everything that was going to happen. It was like a loot crate, but for a pay-per-view, wasn't it? You didn't know
I
what you were
love
gonna
that.
get.
Good.
A loot crate for a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. Like, you know what? I'm glad there is no silly wrestling websites that spoil surprises and talk about rumors and teases, because it was all lovely surprises that happened
All
last
surprises.
night. Stuff that we never ever talked about. Let's get into WrestleMania, because we need the time. By the way, thank you, Dan. Love you,
Thank
Dan.
you so much.
We need the time to talk about everything that went on the kickoff show, which was 2 hours and nothing.
Excuse me, Tom. Can we actually take the time to acknowledge that the shucky ducky quack quack moment has now got a graphic on the pre-show?
Did it not have a graphic before?
No, this is the first time it's had a graphic.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I swear down. This was
I
the first,
think
they made a
it
big
did.
deal.
Okay, because I know it had like the little things. It's had rubber ducks appearing on the back. On the
Maybe I'm wrong. But
Okay.
that is the graphic.
But either way, I like
Either way,
the graphic.
I think I like
It's
the
a great graphic.
It's nice. It's a nice graphic.
Gives Booker T something to do, which is
does.
nice. We did have the shucky ducky quack quack moment from Booker T. He does love those. We also had appearances on the kickoff show by TikTok's Josh Richards. Yep. And Jake Paul, Logan Paul's somewhat problematic brother on the internet. Jake Paul is. Do you remember the song? Of course you do. It was the next. Some people call it the next Imagine. It's Jake Paul's "It's Everyday Bro."
Nope. I unfortunately not.
It featured because basically all of Jake Paul's mates all did rapping bits in it.
Yeah.
And there was one. I think the guy was named Jake Crumpton. He's a UK guy, and there's a part of his rap where he said, "England is my city." And no one's ever let him live down the fact that he did a rap where he referred to England as a city as opposed to
Fantastic.
country. But Jake Paul was on there getting the crowd hyped up, but no matches for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon living out his dream of putting on a 2-hour wrestling show. With no matches.
Considering as well, obviously, as we get into tonight, a match gets cut. And it was why not just have that match on the pre-show, right?
The match, we'll give this a little nod now. The match that was cut, as Andrew says, we were meant to see Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland with a Butch at ringside. They had an extended video package that sort of told the story of the last 5 weeks. They played video of Big E's neck getting broken, and I don't think that sat very well with people.
No.
I guess it's one of those things, and the wrestling's always been a bit like this. When we know that the person at the other end is fine, then they will replay it forever.
Yeah.
Steve Austin's broken neck from SummerSlam 1997. I think Sabu getting his neck broken in ECW. Because they're fine. Therefore, I think it's carte blanche to then use the footage all the time. So I think, so they did that. They even had Woods and Kofi doing an interview. They were in lovely suits. They didn't get out of the suits because the match got taken off.
Which is such a shame as well. I didn't. If anything, I know this match kind of. I imagine it would have been quite quick anyway, like over before we know it. But still, to be told you're gonna be on WrestleMania, that you're gonna be on WrestleMania Night 1, you're gonna have this match, and then for it to be cut, to do a promo as well, hyping it up on the pre-show, and then for it just to be cut. I wonder if it's gonna be on the pre-show for tonight.
I would be genuinely shocked if they don't find space on the pre-show. I think if they do another 2-hour talkie pre-show with all the video packages that they're going to show us later in the night, and don't squeeze on Big Woods and Kingston versus Sheamus and Holland, then that's a real disappointment. That's a real disappointment. Let's get into the show itself. After Brantley Gilbert sang America the Beautiful, he has a lovely beard.
Yeah.
Does Brantley. We had our opening match of the night. It is the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Usos versus Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Boogs and Nakamura sponsored by Hard Iced Tea.
It was so strange.
Super
I was like,
strange.
I like the color combos that they've got going on here. And then it turns out when they get to the ring, you see like the bit on the barricade, the advertisement part on the barricade, and you're like, okay, yes, they are walking iced tea advertisements right now.
I like the idea of all the wrestlers being sponsored by certain brands and stuff. I know Ross is pushing for that lucrative Greg's the Baker sponsorship. I'd like to throw one in for Kit Kat. Who would you like to be sponsored by?
I'd like to be sponsored by Mountain Dew because I am a pro gamer.
You are a pro gamer.
Yeah.
And there is nothing quite like the electric taste of Mountain Dew.
The synthetic bright green taste.
Because the one thing that more video games need is heart palpitations.
Exactly.
Get amongst them. So Boogs and Nakamura challenging for the SmackDown tag titles. Boogs are doing all right in there. He was getting a hot streak. He attempted to lift both the Usos, and his knee buckled underneath him. And they kind of played this off as a bit of a storyline bit. And then as sort of the next minute or so unfolded, we realized actually this isn't the case. Nakamura fought on his lonesome for a short while, and then we had Nakamura succumbing to some super kicks, some splashes. He keeps kicking out.
He does.
But then he gets hit with a 1D.
Yeah.
Formerly the 3D for the 1, 2, 3, and like the match didn't really seem to get out of second gear.
No.
But we kind of figure out why, don't we?
We do, yeah. It turns out Rick Boogs, I think I'm right in saying that it turns out he tore his quad, right?
Quadricep patella injury. Apparently he's going to be getting surgery in the next few days.
And that's such a shame because, I mean, they are such a hype team together, Rick Boogs and Nakamura, and the crowd loves Rick Boogs too, don't they? And I was like, I really want to see him get his WrestleMania moment. We saw him do an incredible suplex, right? And he even goes down on one knee and comes back up and plants one of the Usos. And I was like, man, he just plays off the crowd so well. And I felt so sorry for him when he buckled. And I was like, okay, this is a little bit of a weird way, as we were talking about it before, not knowing that it was an actual injury at the time. I just thought, oh, he's selling this really well.
I thought it might lead to like a comeback.
But then when he doesn't roll back in the ring and Nakamura's kind of taking the brunt of all the offense from the Usos, I was like, oh, it just feels a bit weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To see Nakamura kind of we saw him up there high on the card at one point of the WrestleMania and to be on the kickoff match. Not that is a bad thing at all.
Well, it wasn't the kickoff match. It was the first match of the night.
The first match, sorry, yeah.
Bear in mind that the centerpiece of Kofi Mania didn't even get on the card this year.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of like, that wrenched at my heart a little bit for Nakamura. But do you know what? It did what it needed to do. The Usos are still the champions. And I think Nakamura improvised very well without his tag team partner at his side.
All being considered, we do need to give this match a grade.
We do.
Where are we feeling on the grade front? I was thinking maybe a C.
Yeah.
And it's cruel to say that because I reckon had this match gone the way it was going to go, we probably could have been looking at maybe a B or B+.
I agree. I think both teams together could have put on a barn burner because we saw the chemistry and they had really good chemistry to start with. But yeah, unfortunately, injury marred the performance. I would say a C as well.
I think, yeah, for what they did do, they had some fun. Let's go with a C for the SmackDown Tag Team title match. Thank you very much to Tom Talks Rubbish for the super chats. Very kind. Thank you for the lovely words as well. Valaba, thank you for being a member for 5 months in a row, saying, we need more Justin Tiger. Don't you worry. We will lift you up, Buttercup, because a little later on today, can confirm that Justin Tiger is indeed back.
On the plane. He's on the plane.
It's hopefully landing in the next
fingers crossed
25 to 30 minutes.
Fingers crossed.
Or your money back. A brand new round of Justin Tiger's Truth or Liger coming up very, very soon. Another super chat has just this second popped through.
Thank you so much to Wise Guy 6 there donating. If this is the penultimate episode, I want to contribute to say thank you for the live review shows. Thank you so much. Also, because I want to make sure you guys can afford to fly in Justin Liger in the future. Thank you so much, Wise Guy. I'm sure we absolutely will. We will put that money to good use. So thank you very much for that.
It's not a goodbye. It's a maybe see you later. Next up, Drew McIntyre in action next, paying off the long-term story he's had with Happy Corbin. So this goes back, gosh, months and months, because in the video package they replayed all the sad Corbin stuff, which I realized I really missed that. That was good.
Too.
That was probably some of my favorite stuff that Baron Corbin has done in WWE.
It's a strange one, right? Because when we kind of think about Baron Corbin, I kind of think we all gravitate towards, he's quite just, he's fine in the ring, like a little bit boring. Like, you know what you're going to get, right? But storyline-wise and character-wise, he's very, very good at what he does.
Yeah, he really, really is. And but there's a few things, and I think a few people have agreed with me on this. There's a few stories that he's had that people haven't really bit on.
Yeah.
But in terms of like whatever creative he's given, he gives it socks. He
Absolutely.
really does. And there were people that were upset with this match being on the WrestleMania card. A lot of people, I think, initially thought it was a tough shake for Drew McIntyre. But I'm not against these matches that have build being on the WrestleMania card. You know, so like there's some matches in here there's been build for months and months and months. It's on. That's how WrestleMania should be.
I absolutely agree. And even like the pay-per-view matches that these three have had together, Madcap Moss, Happy Corbin, and Drew McIntyre, I think they've put everything they possibly can into this storyline and into the big matches they've been given as well.
Top marks to Madcap Moss, who won the Andrew the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on SmackDown on Friday. It was during the kickoff show that somebody got sacked because the little nameplate underneath said the Andrew the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner.
Thank you so much to WWE for paying homage to me.
Yeah,
the Giant.
Very kind of you.
Such a big boy.
And well done to Madcap Moss, who is now officially in you.
Yeah.
Moss accompanied Happy Corbin to ringside. Why is that rude? Accompanied Happy Corbin to ringside for this one. Drew's early momentum halted by shenanigans from Madcap Moss. He gets very excited and jumps on the apron at one point. This distracts Happy Corbin, who I put in my notes as Happy Crobbin. So there's me giving it all this about Andrew the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, somebody in WWE's department, and on my notes I've written Happy Crobbin. So
easily done.
I'm going to shut up. It leads to a Pines Buster by Drew McIntyre. Moss saves Corbin from a Claymore shortly after that, and then we see Corbin rally. Then we see something, Andrew, we've never seen.
Never
in
ever
the
seen.
History of wrestling.
We haven't.
It was not just a WrestleMania first, but a WWE first.
He kicks out of the end of days, Tom. Drew
Flipping
McIntyre
well
kicks out of the end of days. The first person to ever do so. And I'm glad it was at WrestleMania too, and with Drew McIntyre. Like, that was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah, I think you can go one or two ways with this. You can either just kind of, this can be the only person that ever kicks out of the end of days, like Drew McIntyre, the only person that powers out of it at WrestleMania. A WrestleMania powered Drew McIntyre is strong at the end of days. Or my thinking was, as I was walking around Tesco today, I thought, have everyone kick out of end of days now. Like, everyone.
You can be on the dissension again, right?
Yeah.
Corbin, just have him go back down the dissension to Sad Corbin again.
Just have the move become really crap and everyone just gets really sad because like people are kicking out at one. That'd be amazing. Anyway, he kicks out of that, fights back, Future Shock, Claymore, 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre wins. Madcap Moss attempts a sneaky attack post-match, and Drew McIntyre rears Angela. His big old sword goes to take Madcap Moss's heat off. Moss jumps off the apron, and Drew McIntyre slices the top two ropes. To which I went, cheers, Drew. Now we've got another 2 hours of non-wrestling.
Irresponsible. I want to go to bed, Drew. What have you done?
We've had 1 and a bit matches, and the ring's broken. What did you think of Drew versus Corbs?
I thought it was. Again, as we said before, I thought it was good for what it was. It was a very quick affair. I think all the people involved in this storyline have put everything into it. Whilst the material might not have been the best material that they've been given, they really have just run with it and made something that's been entertaining to watch. And I enjoyed that a lot. I like to see Drew kick out at the end of days at WrestleMania 2. That was like, oh wow, someone's actually finally done it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice way to end this feud as well. The dissension between Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin still continues to play out. I thought it would have definitively finished here, but it looks like there'll be more stuff to come in the following weeks. I imagine Corbin's going to be like, you cost me the match and this, that, and then something's going to happen there. So I'm glad we're still keeping that within this storyline too. But yeah, like, not the best match on the night by any means, but a really fun one to watch. And with the amount of storylines we've got that are very intense, I think, throughout this whole entire first night, this was a nice little bit of levity, even though there is some content in there that is quite, on SmackDown, there was some words said by Corbin which were pretty triggering. I just thought they made the best and they made it entertaining, and that's kind of what you want, is like a little palate cleanser on WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much in agreement with you. Punchy, pacey, well received. Yeah. I reckon if it was about 5 minutes shorter, it'd have been fine.
Yep.
If it just been Drew McIntyre just mowing through Corbin, that'd have been fun. I was thinking for this, maybe around a B or a B minus. I don't want to go any lower than a C plus.
No.
It was better than the opener.
I think B minus, only because when Drew did his big flip over the top rope this year, his ding-a-ling didn't boing on the rope, so that knocks it down.
Minus.
That knocks it down a point for me.
I'm only watching WrestleMania for Drew McIntyre's, Air Scotland pride.
You've got to
getting caught on the ropes.
It's such a you zoom in on that, right? When that happens, you're like, did it happen? I instantly, as soon as he did that move, my eyes was drawn to his bagpipes, and I was like, are they gonna boing-a-loing-a-loing on that top rope? And they didn't, unfortunately.
Maybe he should have cut the ropes beforehand to give more breathing room for the complicated area that is.
He should have done, yeah.
The Drew's caber. Anyway, B minus for Drew versus Corbin.
Thank you, Dan.
Would have been 5 stars with an appearance of his Tokyo Dome.
We have some super chats, by the way. Thank you so much. Gar Monroe there donating. 3 hours sleeping over 24 hours. Body clock too old to pot. Sorry. Probably annoyed my followers with all the tweets. Not at all. It's WrestleMania. Felt like a kid with Austin's return. Felt like a kid with Austin's return. Do we do that all again tonight? Of course. Never mind a grade for night one. Cultaholic's grade for their Mania coverage. A++. Thank you so much, Gar Monroe. Do you want to take the next one, young man?
The veteran trainer, hang on.
Adrenaline.
No, I'll save that.
Oh.
Adrenaline in my soul. No more Cultaholic Live will leave a hole.
Oh, bless.
You'll feel it.
Thank you.
You'll fill it. But thank you very much. Thank you for the $5 for the super chat. This is the penultimate Cultaholic Live. We will be wrapping up. The last one is tomorrow at this time. So if you want to interact with the show, interact with Andrew or myself, this is your last chance to do so. Talk about what you liked on the show. Talk about what you didn't like on the show. Maybe just say hi. Tell us about how you watched the show. Tell us about something funny that happened on the way to heaven. I don't know. Whatever you want to talk about. It's a Phil Collins song. Just hit us with the super chats. That'd be very kind. Thank you very much indeed. Up next, tag team action. It's the Mysterio family. Ray and Dominik taking on the Miz and Logan Paul. So let's talk about who they were wearing tonight as they made their walk down the catwalk. Well, Logan Paul is wearing the world's rarest Pokemon card as a lanyard. Do you know the card?
I don't actually. What is it?
It is a rare one-of-one Pikachu Illustrator card.
Wow.
It's Pikachu with a paintbrush.
That's cool.
The most expensive Pokemon card ever bought at auction, and it was by Logan Paul for a cool $5.275 million. Dun, 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 dun.
My God, that's insane.
That's at least one Cody Rhodes payday. That's a lot of money, isn't it? Think of all the NFTs you could buy with that.
So many.
Top marks to Miz and Logan Paul for matching attire as well. I didn't see any iced tea sponsorship, but it was a lovely shade of yellow and black, which is nice.
Yeah, it looked good.
We had Dominik Mysterio. Dressed like Eddie Guerrero in his Los Gringos Locos years.
I like that very much. It looked good. It looked very good.
How lovely of Dominik Mysterio to pay homage to his dad. If you know, you know.
My father.
Right, Logan Paul.
Yes.
I'm going to echo what Ross said on WTF Moments, which is on the channel right now. I'm going to echo something that you said before we started.
Yeah.
And I think I'm echoing what most of the internet has said. We go, he's very good at the wrestling.
He's a natural, right?
He's a natural. Okay, he wasn't perfect. At one point, he was in the wrong corner waiting for a tag. And you know what? These things happen sometimes. But do you know what? A sublime running power slam.
Like, there was so many things here. The three amigos as well that he did. The frog splash. And, like, not only just the moves, the way he was playing to the camera was on point as well. The heelishness was on point. Everything about it. Like, he's obviously a natural in terms of athleticism and also just being on camera. Like, the man, as you were saying, controversial as he is, doesn't matter, how much you might not like him, because I don't think a lot of us do, unfortunately. He is so good at what he does, and you can't not acknowledge that.
Absolutely not. And he had a great showing in this particular match. As did Dom. We're going to give Dom his flowers as well. Like, Dominik Mysterio put in one of his better performances. Probably the best performance I've seen him do maybe since SummerSlam 2020. I
mean, the live crowd, right? Him at WrestleMania in front of a live crowd. I think that gave him a lot of adrenaline in his soul. I was trying not to go there. But I think it gave him a lot of adrenaline. And one thing as well that I don't think we can leave out is the fact that Logan Paul and Dom were in there with two incredibly talented veterans as well. And I think they gave Dom and Logan Paul time to shine as well. They gave them their own moments. And it's nice that they can be in the ring with veterans that can look after them and make sure they're going to be all right when they hit these high spots and whatnot. Not that they're not capable of doing that without people there, but I think it's a little bit more of a confidence booster, right? When you've got someone in your corner that's got your back.
Yeah, and when you can be not only, as you say, having their back in those moments, but also giving them the room to do what they need to do. The finish comes with the Mysterios hitting a double 619 and two frog splashes onto Logan Paul, but Miz has made a little sly on the outside, and he hit a skull-crushing finale onto Rey Mysterio?
I
didn't write down who it was onto, but it was onto...
I think it was onto Rey.
Onto Mysterio. And stole the win just like that. Post-match, Logan Paul and Miz. Miz is holding up Logan Paul's hand. Then we see Miz's face just drop, and he stares at Logan Paul. Just clatters him with a skull-crushing finale.
Oh, my
God. Rounding applause from the fans in Dallas.
Now, we were talking about this as well, and obviously I feel like people might think that this could potentially be a face turn, or somewhat of a reluctant face turn for Logan Paul, but I don't think that's the case, I think because Logan Paul is naturally just a hated individual. I don't know how to put it. I think even if the Miz comes out as the heel in this feud, the crowd still cheers him. I think no matter what, Logan Paul is still the de facto heel in this whole situation. Yeah. And I like the idea of going forwards, sort of Logan Paul being like, I came in and I did it better than any of you that's been doing it for years and years and years. Like, I'm just such a natural. And if there was anybody to go further into a storyline with Logan Paul, I'm glad it is The Miz, because obviously, you know, they are facing off against each other and whatnot. But I think he's the perfect mentor for Logan to take him to the next level and whatnot, and keep his eye on him as well.
And Miz can really walk the line with wrestling and sort of that celebrity involvement. We saw Miz doing great stuff with Bad Bunny last year. Yeah. Like, Miz seems like a really good person that can guide them, as you say, like a good hand. A good hand.
A good hand.
A good hand. Rating for Mysterios versus Miz and Logan Paul.
I think so far in the night, this has been the best match. I think a B+.
B+?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'll take a B+ on that as well. B+.
Ooh-wee.
Fun tag match. Logan Paul and Dominik Mysterio both looking strong in it
Fantastic.
as well. Really
Fantastic.
nice. Really nice stuff. What's this down here, I hear you say? Look, what's this?
Who's that?
This.
Who is it?
This. The thing I am pointing at right now is one of the brand spanking new bits of Cultaholic merch. It is a Tom Campbell wrestling buddy. Look at his little face.
So cute.
Do you not want those eyes unblinking, staring at you in your bedroom at all hours for the rest of time? Of course you do. There is less than 30 now.
Wow, they're going fast.
They're flying by.
They are flying by.
If they sell out before this stream ends, I'll do the end of the stream with my shirt off. There you go.
Do it.
Well,
Please.
there you go.
Please.
If we sell them all by the time this stream ends. If we don't, I won't. Cultaholicshop.com. 30% off.
38% off.
38% off.
WrestleMania 38.
He was so shocked by the amount, he fell over.
You can pop those things in your cart, automatically takes the 38% off for you too, so you don't have to do anything but buy lovely merch.
But you look at that and you go, I don't want Tom. Old and he's got small hands and he's obnoxious. I want Andrew. There's an Andrew one, isn't there?
There's an Andrew one, there's a Sam one, there's a Jack one, and there's a Ross and Adam one as well.
Yeah.
There's plenty to go at.
And there's loads of t-shirts, hats, scarves, and much, much more. And it's all 38% off for WrestleMania. Get yourself to cultaholicshop.com. Thank you very much. Super chat.
Yeah, super chat from Boneless Pizza. Thank you so much for donating. Love you guys. Got super plastered last night thanks to Cody and Austin. Wanted to shout out Rose commentary during Cody's debut. Perfect. Lemon.
Oh, yeah.
Lemon boy.
We will get to that in a little bit. I promise. Coming up very soon as well. We will check in. I do understand. I've been told in my earpiece.
Hello?
Hello, is that my earpiece?
Hello?
This is Rules Boss.
Yes.
Yes, I understand that Justin Tiger has landed
Oh my goodness.
in Newcastle Airport.
Woo-wee.
And he'll be along for the penultimate game of Truth or Lie. Have we told him?
Have we told him it? Well, maybe we shouldn't break the... We don't want him to be sad, right? We want him to be like high energy like he always is.
All right, okay. When Justin Tiger gets on the screen, he's not here yet, promise me you won't mention. Stephanie McMahon comes out. She wasn't wearing a wedding ring.
What?
I'm not one for tittle tattle and prittle prattle, but she wasn't wearing a wedding ring.
I didn't even notice that.
This is only because a couple of weeks ago, Vince McMahon, in his interview with Pat McAfee, talked about my then wife, my wife.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I was like, what's happening there?
Yeah, this is interesting. It's more spicy now than it was when it was on screen. But Steph is out for a reason. She thanks the WWE Universe and introduces us to one of the stars of tomorrow, Gable Steveson, who heads out, waves. He has his arm raised by Stephanie McMahon. Bless him. I've been here before, mate. It's tough. His shirt was a bit too tight. So as his arm was raised, all the material pulled. So he had like you could see like in just underneath his skin. as he
Just
did
his
that.
little
holes,
little tiny nip slips.
little tiny nip slips in there as he did it, and it reminded me of Vince McMahon raising Eric Bischoff's hand in 2002, the most awkward arm raise moment in the history of wrestling.
Bless.
Now seconded by Gable Steveson. So Gable getting the now. How do we feel about Gable being introduced in this way?
Yeah, I feel like we've had this multiple times now, right? Where we've introduced Gable Steveson and then he's just there, waved. That's it.
Yeah,
We've had this quite a lot of times now. At this point.
may be the third or fourth time where they've just gone, he's gonna be great, Gable Steveson.
And again, is this going to be to the detriment of Gable Steveson? I know he's obviously like a champion and a fantastic amateur wrestler, but and I have no doubt that he will, transition into professional wrestling very well. But I mean, there's like that put too much hype sometimes into things, don't you?
I worry that they do put a lot of hype into it, but also because having the McMahons and everybody go, he's going to be great, he's going to be the star, the fans will just push that back and just go, you don't tell us who's going to be. I've seen it happen a lot. I've seen this happen a lot. We dropped a documentary on the podcast feed all about Steve Austin's last match, or what was his last match, how quickly that went out of date. And in it, we talked about Rocky Maivia and how like everybody was like rallying behind Rocky Maivia, like he's a blue chipper, he's going to be the next big star and all this stuff. And the crowd just resented it, kicked it back.
Yeah. They have to build that up naturally, don't they? You can't have people tell you that this person's going to be the next big star. You've got to see it for themselves, right?
Exactly. Gable Steveson comes out and then is battered by Veer. All will be forgiven.
Yes.
Oh, what a dream that'd be. The Raw Women's Championship is on the line.
Oh, Thomas.
It is Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. We get Becky Lynch getting dropped off by Trent's mum from AEW.
That was good.
Lovely car.
I like that.
And Bianca gets played to the ring by the Texas University Brass Band playing her theme tune.
I loved it.
The big entrances feel, they don't feel smaller. They feel, they hit a bit different this time. I'm not quite sure why.
In what way?
I don't know whether maybe they just feel a bit not as grandiose.
I think.
I don't know.
I think it's difficult, right? So now that we've come back to a live crowd and we're in a huge stadium, first of all, huge stadium acoustics, things are going to get lost. Sometimes it sounded at some point like things were a little bit out of sync, and that can always be a bit like, ooh, that makes us think, it doesn't sound as good and whatnot. Whereas when we were in the like the Thunderdome era, we had time to like sort the sound out and whatnot, get camera angles just right, and yeah, things sounded a little bit more condensed, a little bit more impactful. But I guess when it's in a big arena, it can get a little bit lost, and it doesn't have that same feel.
Maybe. But I liked it. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
Big fight feel between these two.
Oh.
We thought this might open the show. This is now kind of in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
But we'll talk a bit about the pacing a little bit later on. I have an issue with it. We have echoes of the SummerSlam match. Bianca Belair offering a handshake to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch slaps her in the face, goes for the manhandle slam as she did at SummerSlam. This time Bianca counters it, goes to the KOD, but then Becky hits the manhandle slam, and oh my God, it was the 2.99999 recurring from hell.
My heart was here.
Jeez.
It was here. It was, I thought that was, and I think even the crowd thought that was it too.
We all thought, are they going to do Bianca dirty like that? And they didn't. But my God, they had us. But I think because we know they'd be probably capable of doing that, they would be ones to do it.
That's the thing. Like, what would have been a big surprise? That would have been a big surprise, right? Doing it twice. And I'm just like, I'm so glad they didn't. But again, during this whole sort of beginning segment where things were very scrappy, we had a lot of like pin reversals and whatnot as well that were very, very close. I was like, oh my God, they are going to do it. They're going to do this, aren't they? Maybe like Bianca grabs the bottom rope or something like Becky does, and then that'll be it. But I'm genuinely glad they were given chance to breathe. And
they told a really good story when they did breathe. They the whole story being initially that was Becky Lynch just wants to get the match done. Like she's going for quick pins and quick moves and then a pin. And at one point trying to get her feet on the ropes to get the leverage. And the whole thing is she don't want to hang around. She knows that Bianca's dangerous. She wants to get the match done. Bianca will rally in this. We see the match start to go the distance once we see Bianca Belair hit an avalanche military press.
Oh, my God.
Followed by a 450. She's freakishly strong.
Second rope 450 as well.
Yeah, Brett's rope
That's
450.
insane.
Yes.
That's so good.
You haven't got much room for error.
No.
On a Brett's rope 450. Becky lands. Now, I think this move, I've seen a few wrestling commentators talking about this.
Yeah.
I feel like she might have been going for a volley go round.
Yes. Yeah. Like the seated senton thing, right, with the flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the distance was misjudged, so it was sort of flipped in midair to being like a rolling drop kick.
Yeah.
So Becky kind of invented a new move in midair, and then they show the replays of Bianca Belair's face just being contorted.
That foot plant straight into her eye, right? And at first I thought she might have broken her nose or something. She was down on the mat and clutching her face, and I was like, ooh, this might turn the tide a little bit. Not in the way that we want it to be turned either, but Bianca, bless her, she powered through that.
Final phase of this match, we see Becky cracking Bianca Belair with a manhandle slam onto the steel steps. And Belair barely gets back into the ring for a 10.
Oh, my God.
And Becky is angry and emotional. She goes for one more manhandle slam. Belair able to fight out of it and counter into a KOD off a backflip for the 1, 2, 3. And Bianca Belair shuts up Becky Lynch and becomes the Raw Women's Champion. She's beaten 2 members of the Horsemen, 2 separate women's titles, back-to-back WrestleManias. Bra flipping vote.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable match, Tom. Like, as you perfectly said, the storytelling was phenomenal here. I think we've tied it round so perfectly from SummerSlam that this match absolutely made up for the squash there. And whilst we're all worried that that might happen again, perhaps with Bianca squashing Becky, I'm glad that wasn't the case, because they deserve to have the barn burner that we were robbed of at SummerSlam, right? The start with it being so scrappy, the desperation from both women came through perfectly. Like, they wanted to get the match done. They wanted to get it out of the way. They kind of just wanted to, you know, they were both trying all these different pin combinations, whatnot. And they had us thinking. They had us thinking so many times throughout this match that Becky would pick up the win. Like, I genuinely believed it. I genuinely believed they were going to do Bianca dirty again. But I'm so glad they didn't. I'm so glad they gave her a moment, because she's the future of the women's division.
Oh, she's the now of the women's division.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
She's the now. Whether or not this was always the goal by WWE from that 20-second drumming at SummerSlam, whatever it was, I don't know. I know that we've seen them forget to, stay the course on quite a few things.
Yeah.
But I thought this was, on the whole, as a piece of work, a good story, well told, excellent match, the right finish. For me, it's an A+.
It's an A+ for me. Like, I genuinely couldn't give it anything less than that.
A+ is all round. First A+ of the night at WrestleMania 38. Will it be the last? We'll find out. We've still got to come the women's title match between Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. We've still got the Kevin Owens show featuring Steve Austin. But before all of that and a few other surprises from last night, back by popular demand, he's just landed. He's just been catapulted through the window here at 350 miles an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, for a rousing round of our favorite quiz, here is Justin Tiger with Truth or Liger. One of these things isn't true. Not true. Is it truth or Liger? Liger. Now is it truth or Liger? Blub, 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 blub. Blub, 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 blub. Here he is. It's Justin Tiger!
Yeah! Hey, it's me, Justin Tiger from Japan.
Business has picked up.
I'm here. Don't be afraid. The views.
I wasn't.
The views. They're dropping quick, Tom. Say something.
Justin Tiger, we're going to play a round of Truth or Liger with Justin Thunder Tiger. So this is where we do a wrestling-flavoured quiz. Some quick-fire questions from our very own Justin Tiger. Justin Tiger, what are our questions on this time?
The questions are... I'm having audio difficulties. Some echo.
Justin, it's okay, Justin.
Talk from the diaphragm. It's fine. We can all hear you.
Where's the fat lad with the beard? Where's the fat lad with the beard?
I'm right here, you dickhead.
Oh, there he is. Can't see. Just your other fat lad. How many fat lads, white boys with beards have we got in this company? Too many.
I've never been more seen in all my life.
That's amazing. Wow.
Cultaholic called out by Justin Tiger. What are our 5 questions on this week?
You're a fat white lad with a beard. Apply now.
Yes!
Hey.
Get in.
Here we go. The questions are on Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Ah! Why are you saying Justin Tiger's catchphrase?
I'm sorry, Justin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And that's what I want to talk about today on this show. My show.
Do it, brother.
Gimmick infringement is a very serious crime. Gimmick infringement is a very serious crime.
It is indeed. Man in a Justin like mask.
Hell yeah is a very common expression in Japan, where I am clearly from. I'm clearly from there.
You well are, mate.
Flew via Wigan.
What does hell yeah mean in your part of Japan?
It means if you like something, give me a hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Give me a hell yeah!
I say hell yeah!
Hell yeah! I was hoping it would mean like move forward in the workplace or something. I guess it means that as well. 5 questions then, Justin, Tiger, Liger, Tiger. I'm on it. I'm ready to go. What have we? Give us the questions.
Can't see a bloody thing in it. I packed the wrong mask. The band's one. We're too small.
You'll have to make them up.
Here we go. It's on. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Play at home if you can. Play at home if you can. Super chat if you can.
Yes,
this
please
show
do.
right here is around forever.
Forever.
Yes,
It's never going away,
Forever.
Justin.
Yes.
Forever.
You want this
Yeah.
show to stick around? Give me a hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah.
It's not being cancelled tomorrow.
Give me a hell yeah!
Hell
Give me a hell yeah! Give me a hell yeah!
What on earth?
There's a sausage roll.
That was incredible.
Give me a hell yeah! Here we go. We've
Greg's
lost.
powered Justin
We're
Tiger.
bleeding viewers here. I have no idea why. Let's quickly cut to the questions. Here we go. He's got to pick one. One's a truth, one's a lie. Here we go. Here we go. Stone Cold Steve Austin has won. Where's my accent gone? Bloody hell. There we go. Back in the room.
Welcome
Professional.
back.
Stone Cold Steve Austin has won hardcore title. True or liger? True or liger? Play at home, play at home.
That's a lot.
I think that's a little...
That's a lie,
That's a
girl.
What
lie.
the chat saying? Doesn't matter because I can't see a bloody thing.
That's a lie.
go.
That's a
gonna be a lie.
liger. That's a liger.
It was a liger. It was a liger. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
It's WrestleMania weekend, lads. Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah! Yeah!
RIP headphone users, as the kids say it. As the kids say it. Here we
As
go.
the kids say.
Okay.
Finger where? Okay, on the phone.
This show's around forever. Why wouldn't it be with me at the helm? Here we go. Question 2.
This is my job.
Bleeding viewers. Absolutely.
No, it's so...
If you're leaving,
Drop the ball.
if you're leaving during this piece of art, then we don't want you anyway.
Get your nana on. Get anyone. Subscribe someone. Subscribe. Please. I can't lose another job. Please.
We're not going anywhere, Tiger. It's fine.
Absolutely bleeding viewers here. A bit of sausage roll in my mouth. Here we go. Question 2.
Okay there, hon.
Question 2. Can you hear me at home? I haven't got headphones, so I can't tell what the bloody hell's going on.
We hope that people can hear
I'm
you.
sure they can.
Here we go. Question 2. Stone Cold. Why you give someone who can't see in a mask someone to read? 2. Stone Cold was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2008. True or liger?
Man.
Or liger?
Oh,
I'm going to say... I feel like it was an early
I'm gonna
one.
say true. I'm gonna say true.
Who said true?
Both of us said true.
Both said true.
I'm blind, Deck. I'm blind. Here we go. Question 2. It was a lie.
Oh!
It was a lie. I got ya. It was 2009. 2009.
The
Sneaky boy.
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
Sneaky boy.
That's 1 point apiece. Yes?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 1 point apiece.
Here we go.
One point for pizza. There we go.
If you're playing at home, play at home.
You're playing at home. That famous catchphrase. If you're playing at home, play at home. As opposed to playing at home, don't play at home.
This show will never be cancelled. With this quality.
I think we're trapped in a vortex.
Here we go. Leading viewers. Question 3. Quick. Here we go. We're going back to the normal stuff. I
You
swear.
asked 2 questions. I've been here 4 days.
Stone Cold was tag team champions with Shawn. I've lost my bloody smile. Michael.
That's
That's
true.
true. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Then Wikipedia. I'm just joking. I keep chances in the back pot. Oh, yeah, it's true. True. There you go. Question 4. What's that? What? Two's a piece. You're playing at home. Play at home.
Two's a piece.
Here we go. Question 4. Stone Cold lost his first WWF title to The Undertaker. Is it truth or is it lie?
First. As in, is in the first championship he held in the WWF.
His first WWF title.
Oh, okay.
Like the reigns.
Or any of that jazz.
Oh, okay.
Lie.
Yeah, I think that's a lie.
That's a lie.
Do we get a point if we say? Oh no, we'll just wait.
We'll
We'll let
just
you.
go, it's a lie.
It's a
Yeah.
lie.
It's a lie.
I can tell you who it was.
Who was it? Who was it?
That's
right.
Mansoor.
Are you sure, Mansoor? I got Kim written down here. I don't watch the wrestling, so I couldn't tell you.
What?
I don't even know.
What are you
The
getting these
famous
questions
Japanese
from?
wrestler of all time.
You don't watch the wrestling. Doesn't he watch his opponents?
I am the wrestler.
Cuckoo, could you?
I am the wrestler. There we go. Here we go.
Bleeding views.
Number 5. The tiebreaker.
Oh,
the decider.
tiebreaker.
Here we go.
Oh,
Here we go.
all right.
Yeah, Pat.
So fingers on buzzers for the tiebreaker.
Buzzers. Get your buzzers. If you're playing at home, get your buzzers.
Yeah, if you're playing
If
at
you're
home,
playing at home, just grab someone that buzzers. Ask your mom.
ask him on for going at buzzers.
Yeah. Whoa. There we go. Tiebreaker. How many WWF/WWE titles has Stone Cold won?
As in, like, heavyweight titles.
In world titles.
Okay.
Never won. Just WWE. Play at home.
5.
6.
It was 6. Andrew wins.
It's a pure guess.
Well done, mate.
T-Pelf wins. Lucy wins.
Well done.
Patrick Joski 6. I get 6 in the chat. Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Speaking of 6, that's how many viewers are left. So I'm gonna get myself bloody off.
Hey, we'll see you tomorrow for
See
the
you
show
tomorrow.
that will never end.
Bye,
See you
Justin.
tomorrow. Like a Justin Tiger.
What a bloody
Man of the hour.
bloody
The
train
man
wreck.
of the
Bloody
hour.
train wreck.
There we go, Justin Tiger. There
Well
he goes.
done,
What a
Justin
guy.
Tiger.
What a guy.
What
Hey,
a fantastic boy.
this show will never end.
Ever.
That's it. See ya. Well done for not telling him.
We have a few super chats. Thank you so much, by the way. Boneless
we have a few.
pizza.
Probably we were bleeding viewers.
We're bleeding. We need a T-shirt with his face on that just says bleeding
Okay,
viewers.
I want Justin, Adam, if you're watching, right, hear me out. Justin Tiger merch.
Please.
We're bleeding viewers, and if you play it at home, play it at home. If no one buys them, I'll just buy them all. And it'll be going out clothes.
People need that in their lives.
Play at home, play at home. What a guy.
Boneless Pizza, thank you so much for the super chat. Bianca vs Becky, easily the match of the night, maybe even all of Mania. So good. What do you all think of her keeping the horns from the band in her normal entrance music? Love y'all again. I like that.
Yeah, I think keep the horns. I don't
Yeah.
think you need the band every time.
No, I agree. I think the horns added to it. I thought it was really nice. Matinee, thank you also for donating. Hi, guys. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching WrestleMania. I'm a blind wrestling fan who unfortunately can't no longer watch matches, so your coverage is much appreciated.
Bless
Thank
you.
you so much, Matinee. That means the world, so thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Matinee. Thank you. We'll do our best to talk you through a big moment from last night. Next up, Seth Rollins is out again. People on the stage, like an a cappella group.
It was nice. I
All the
like it. I was like, I
oh.
wondered if they just picked off really excited fans that they found outside. Because one guy right on the far, I guess to our far right and on Seth's far left, this guy was going mental. like actually just like full on getting into it. And it was really cool to see.
I feel like I do feel like it's probably an a cappella club or a group. Bart and Bella's type action maybe. Everything go da da da. I got a new life. You'll hardly recognize me. I'm so glad. So Seth with an a cappella group, apparently killing the Cookie Monster for his attire on the way to the ring. Very Game of Thrones-esque.
Very Game of Thrones-esque.
Which I really liked. He stands in the ring. He's like, "Come on, time is money. I want to fight." The lights go out. Everything goes dark. Fireworks light up the ring and the ramp. Then we hear, "Hello, I am Elias." No, we don't hear that. No, we didn't hear that. We didn't hear that. We heard through the darkness, there is more than one wrestling royal family. And then, blow me down. Downstate's Kingdom. Adrenaline.
Even just, like, it's not even an exaggeration, like, chills. Even thinking about it now, I went back, like, this morning again and watched it over and over and over, and it is the most surreal thing ever. It's like watching say you're watching a Marvel movie and then all of a sudden Batman turns up out of nowhere and you're like, excuse me, sorry, what's just happening right now? It was so hard to compute to begin with. And that as well, I'm not gonna lie. It was so hard to compute in the beginning because he's kept everything. He's kept the American Nightmare name. He's kept the gear, the music. Like, this is very much Cody Rhodes from AEW.
It felt very much like it had been lifted from AEW and placed at WrestleMania. We went back and forth on this in terms of how he would be presented. I made the argument in the news video that they'd probably have him come out to "Whoa!" And I realised, you know what? What a silly thing that would have been. In my head a week ago, that made sense.
Yeah,
this was better. Even the whole elevated through the ramp thing, which they did, like every little touch. The great ring announcing that even gave it that little bit of Justin Roberts flourish.
Yeah,
on the American Nightmare, like a little sound-alike type thing, which I thought was a really nice touch. And then Corey, right? You get some bits wrong. Sometimes you are nailing it. As Cody walks the ring, there's Corey Graves going, he went from undesirable to undeniable. Oh. I'm like, oh, what a great shout. What a great call. What a great call.
Do it.
Hang on, wrong way around.
It's wrong way around.
I haven't played it in so long.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Every night on Saturday, every night on Monday Night Raw.
Whoa.
My mother said, please eat your dinner.
Or you won't get your pudding.
My father said, go ask your mother. And then we'll have some pudding with Michael Winner. And throw it all away. Cody's here, baby.
Oh, my God.
Cody and Seth Rollins gets underway. Really intense battle once they get into it. A little feeling out process at the start. We see a little homage to Stardust.
Oh, we do. Cartwheels and all.
Cartwheel and a woo, which is cool. I love that. But then when they get into it, like, they really just rip strips off one another.
And that was the thing as well. Like, I was really worried at the start. Not that you should be with two unbelievable professionals in Cody and Seth Rollins, but there was very much a feeling out process. Like, this is a different environment, I guess, to what Cody's been used to for a few years now in AEW. The ring's different, the way they work, the cameras and everything is different as well. And like, I was like, oh no. Is the hype almost too much for this match to actually reach its full potential? And then I'm so glad that when we had the feeling out process, we had the slow build at the start, and then it literally went from like second to fifth in no time, and it was so special.
Really was. So some of the highlights from this particular match, we've got to talk about the inverted superplex off the top. So Seth hits an inverted superplex onto Cody from the top, and then keeps hold of the head, so
Yeah.
it goes into like a dragon sleeper, and then is it not a flipping curtain call?
Yeah, I thought. Do you know what? I was
Soul
like,
finisher.
he's gonna do the crossroads to Cody Rhodes. Oh my god!
Even worse, he did Gold Dust's finisher. We teased some pedigrees, and then eventually Seth hits a pedigree.
Yep.
Cody kicks out of the pedigree. A little
So good.
There. Cody hooks for a pedigree at one point. It's an underhook powerbomb.
It's a powerbomb. He had us going though. He had us going.
Near fall off that. Near fall off a Cody cutter off the top as well. So good. The end of this comes following the kick out of the pedigree, where Cody hits a crossroads. He holds onto the neck. Hits another crossroads. He then holds onto the neck, pulls him up. Then he releases, takes a breath, starts doing jabs. And then even on commentary, they go, there's the sun. And that was sweet. And then a bionic elbow. Cody gets a little bit motion.
Yeah.
And then picks him up. One more crossroads. For the once more with feeling. The 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. WWE on BT Sport putting out a match graphic, the brick wall from AEW.
Yeah.
And it says Cody Rhodes is WWE. It's all WWE.
So good.
It's like superb.
It was. I honestly, even just still thinking about it, and I don't want to seem like I'm just being overly dramatic or whatever. It was so special. It was a surreal moment. This is obviously the first time we've seen someone of that, like someone from AEW go to WWE, and someone of that stature as well. For someone who helped start this rival company up, and is now a part of said one of the rival companies. But it all still very much feels like Cody Rhodes, like the Cody that we knew left WWE and has grown into what he is now, and it's a very different Cody from what we saw in WWE 6 years ago.
Well, the last time he was at WrestleMania, he was Stardust in the Intercontinental title ladder match, and you think about where Cody and Seth were in their respective careers in WWE at that point. I think when Cody left, I think Seth was out injured.
Yeah.
But even before then, where you had Cody sort of with the crisis of confidence, becoming Stardust and competing a lot on main event. Then you had Seth Rollins as the Universal Champion.
Yeah.
Doing all of that stuff. And so, like, other ends of the playing field. The last match that Seth Rollins had before WrestleMania was a match on main event against Zack Ryder.
Wow.
So... and there might be a few people that cringe when they hear the phrase like from undesirable to undeniable. That's a real textbook.
It is.
Example of it. To go for like last time, it was like you were just such an afterthought.
Yeah.
Now the wrestling world was clamoring to see you. Not only are they seeing you, but you have negotiated you to be seen in the right way that works for you. Like, this is the deal that Cody has struck. We talk more about it in the news video on the channel right now, whereby it seems like Cody is more in control of, you can't really be in control of who you're booked with and storylines and stuff, but he's in control of how he is seen, of his image and his persona.
I think that's that's a very, very good thing to have, because I think there needs to be sort of this view for wrestlers in AEW perhaps who think, if I go to WWE later in my career, is everything going to be stripped from me? And I think it's very important for them to show Cody as he is, you know, bells and whistles, everything. Obviously, as you were saying, booking and things like that might very well be out of his control, but like his presentation and everything, you want to make that look desirable to talent outside, don't you? You know, especially say like an MJF or something when his contract is up. You want to make them actually think about the possibility of going over to the other field.
Yeah,
you know,
and this makes it very palatable.
Yeah,
for someone to see that Cody has gone over there on his own terms and had the match that he wants of his own terms. And as for the match itself, we are in the world of grading. Hey, this is another A+ for me.
Agreed.
I thought it was excellent. I think even when you remove the hype, it's difficult to. But even with that, it's still an excellent match.
Yeah.
Cody and Seth just, oh my God, they were magic.
Two of the best storytellers.
Magic. Yeah.
Right? Two of the best storytellers in wrestling in terms of like the in-ring acumen and what they can do through moves and whatnot, like the pedigree stuff, that was obviously in there for a very specific reason, as we've seen all the things that Cody has done away from WWE with the throne and whatnot, and taking shots at WWE and
there was the line that Seth gave to Cody during the match, which was like, "Welcome back to the big leagues."
Yeah, and I love that, and I love that they put Seth Rollins in there, a very WWE guy, to go up against this person that's not been a WWE guy for a long time. Some would have never thought he would ever come back to WWE again, and I think that is the best kind of storytelling. You don't like deliberately just hit the nail on the head in terms of being like, well, he's come from this company and he's done this, and like it was very subtle how they played into it, and I think that goes to show how good they are at telling stories too. You don't need to be very blatant and very obvious about these things. Like it was so good.
I also think, and I'd be interested to know what AEW mega fans think of this. I think, and maybe outside the Sammy Guevara match, his last match in AEW, I think this is the best match I've seen Cody do years. I really do, and I'd be interested to. I mean, the three matches for Cody that jump out to me are Cody and Dustin.
Yep.
Cody and Guevara, which is his last match in AEW, and this one.
Wow.
Massive. It's an A+.
I mean, that's good. I couldn't have put it better myself. That's perfect.
And do you know what? As well, I've loved to see the love for it.
Yeah.
From all sides.
Yeah.
Like there's so much passion about it, and that's stuff like this, where you should genuinely embrace being an unapologetic wrestling fan, because watching something like this go down and the way it goes down, you can't help but have it like in your stomach and bring you to life a bit, and it's special.
It's I don't know what it is. This happens to me quite often, right? When someone comes back or when someone does something that they truly believe in. Now, this is going to sound so corny and whatever, but like...
No, do you know what? No. Let it be whatever it needs to be.
Because that was an insane moment as a wrestling fan who's been watching wrestling for years now, who's nearly 30 years old, to like feel that in my chest and feel like tears in my eyes almost for this return was ridiculous. Like, and we can be so cynical about wrestling, but that felt so good, and that reminded me why, you know what, I love my job, and I'm so glad that I get to do this and whatnot. And it's moments like that just really hit home. Like, wow, I'm in a very good position, and I'm so glad that we get to do what we do. Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know, man. I'm getting emotional just thinking about it.
Never apologize for being a wrestling fan and having and feeling things. I think that if you're in a position where you don't want to see people doing that, maybe you feel that it's cringe. That's for you.
Yeah.
But that's a shame, because you miss out on some nice connections and feeling some really nice things. You talk about being 30. Jesus, I'm 38. Crumbs.
But you look beautiful.
Thank you, darling. And I remember having tears in my eyes when Hogan lost to Warrior. And the thing is, right, I'd love to be able to say here, like, oh, this is how I felt when Cody walked out. This is how I felt when I saw that thing. Full disclosure, watching this last night, and after the Becky and Bianca match, I shut my eyes. Lay on the sofa, Pablo's here, shut my eyes. I open my eyes, and Seth and Cody are locking up. What?
No.
Okay, it's yourself. Fine. I missed the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I had to, but then rewinding it and going, and then hearing, going, oh, okay, it was downstate. Oh, get in. That's great. Loved it. A+. We see the stars of the Hall of Fame come out, taking a boo. Undertaker walks out in kind of his... do you think it was weird that Undertaker was sort of wearing like tracky bottoms for the Hall of Fame? They looked a bit like Adidas, didn't they?
They did. Like, it was very, what do you call it up top? Like smart up top, and then just like very casual.
He was
on the bottom.
He was Zoom call pandemic chic was the Undertaker. But I liked his. I loved his Hall of Fame speech. I'm glad they gave him like 37 hours to tell every story possible.
Me too.
Which is really nice. So it was good to see him again. He takes us to the bow, which is nice. We come to the one half, well, what was kind of billed as the main event for the evening. Oh, we'll do some super chats.
We will do some super chats.
Lest we forget, hold that thought.
Oh, Ewan Hutchinson, thank you. Oh, well, we'll get there eventually. Thank you so much for the donation. Justin Tiger needs his own show. We need more Tiger, and we completely agree.
He won't need his own show because this one's definitely going on forever.
Give
and
him
not
a live
cancelled
mic.
after tomorrow.
Give him a live mic, damn it. Stardom, thank you so much for donating there too. That's genuinely very, very kind of you. Had the worst moment when Rollins vs. Cody happened. Me and my mates were at a viewing party in Cardiff, and the live feed cut when Cody had his entrance. No way. When it came back on, random country music played. Great match, bad timing. Indeed. Tom, do you want to take this final one?
I'm just trying to figure out how Stardom's night would have sounded. Adrenaline in my... Baby, lock them doors and turn them lights down low. Bless you, mate. Good luck to Cardiff. I hope somebody put a quid in the meter in Cardiff. Nicole, Papa. Hi, friends. I played the Cody Seth match for Joseph this morning. It's your little one. Ring psychology was amazing, so she's training Joseph to wrestle. So watch how he locks up. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you very, very much. Super chats. Hotel Justin Tiger. This is the penultimate Cultaholic Live. Tomorrow will be the last Cultaholic Live. Thank you very much for supporting us. We've tried something a little bit different. We're going to pivot and do something slightly different, but thank you very much for supporting us on Cultaholic Live. And if you want to get your voice heard on WrestleMania Night 1, you've got a little bit more time to do so, another 20 minutes or so. And then we'll be back tomorrow for Night 2, and that'll be the last one. So super chats, please. Thank you very much. So Charlotte Flair defends the SmackDown Women's title against Ronda Rousey. We don't give a darn about her darn reputation. So a lot of the build to this.
Yeah.
The build. The build and the match. I don't think, and you know what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't think Ronda Rousey's having a very nice time. I don't think her heart's in this.
I agree. I think Charlotte Flair is very much carried a lot of this. Charlotte being the perfect heel that she is, and Ronda Rousey not really getting to that place where you want to be as a babyface, right? Like, there's something just quite off. I really don't know what it is, and it's such a shame as well, because, like, tonight especially, even in the pre-show, people being asked, oh, who are you looking forward to seeing the most? Like, Ronda Rousey comes up a lot, and even the crowd pop, like, really hard for her when she comes out, but I just don't know. I don't know what it is.
The promos and stuff she's hit have been a little bit underwhelming, and like there was the bit the other week where she said, "I will be the SmackDown Women's champion." Why do we put women in there? Like muttering to herself mid promo, and then the bit they keep playing over and over really annoyed me in the video package where they kept saying, "Either I'm gonna take your arm, or you're going to tap out." And it sounds like it's a muddled phrase. I think she meant to go, either you'll tap out or I'll take your arm. She could have even gone, either I'll take your arm or I'll take your title. All better phrases than either I'll take your arm or you'll tap out.
Yeah.
You know?
I completely get what you mean.
So the tables that turned have turned again.
Pivot.
Dr. Evil. Pivot. So I just, with her promos and stuff, I haven't felt that she's in it, but they could make up for it in this match. Let's see if they do. It's a hard-hitting affair from the off. Submission grabs and elbow strikes all around. Pretty ugly affair.
Was I getting worked, Tom? I don't know, because I thought they were pulling those pistols out and doing a shooty at one point, because even the ref has to get involved and be like, excuse me, we just like calm it down a little bit here, because that looks a bit real. But again, like maybe they just talked to each other beforehand and was like, let's make it look as brutal as possibly make it look.
And they really did. If you look at Ronda Rousey's chest, not long into this match, it is beat red from chops from Charlotte. She lands an avalanche arm drag in a Piper's Pit. Goes for the arm bar. Charlotte manages to escape that. The story in this one is that Charlotte's been called, one of the layers of the story is that Charlotte's been calling Ronda a one-trick pony. Yeah. And so Ronda's coming at this like, I've got all these other moves. Like she went to the SmackDown Mall and bought some moves before the match started. And so then the commentators are calling out the moves as they're happening. Yeah. So you see like, oh, she's learning more. Flair and Rousey into this one, dual ankle locks. And then we even see Ronda do the Kurt Angle special where she grapevines the ankle.
Yeah, she does.
And I thought that's it.
Me too.
Because
in the middle of the ring, like
because
it.
that's the end of a Kurt Angle match. Isn't it?
Yeah, of course
every
it is.
time almost.
Yeah.
When he grapevines it, you're done. No. Charlotte manages to break out of it. Rousey gets locked in a figure 8. She managed to roll out of the ring to escape it, and they play on commentary. No one's got out of the figure 8.
Yeah, they do.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah, I think they were trying very hard to get Ronda over, weren't they?
They really did, and they wanted to make sure that Ronda was protected as the match wound down. She hit a Piper's Pit again on Charlotte. Referee counted 3. But then after the third count, noticed that Charlotte's foot was on the ropes.
Yes.
So then went 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh wait,
Oh,
no. How appropriate that the night that Cody comes back, we get something close to a dusty finish. That's deliberate. We then see Charlotte once again trying to counter out of a move from Ronda, and she accidentally spears Charles Robinson.
Like, the camera placement here I thought was perfect because it kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh no, okay, we're doing this now, are we? That man though, straight back up on his feet not long after.
No, because what happens is Ronda gets the armbar on
course,
Charlotte.
yes.
She gets her armbar on Charlotte, and Charlotte's tapping out. So now Charlotte's been pinned, and she's tapped out. And Charles isn't there to see it. Ronda
She
kind
gets
of
him up,
goes
right?
around. That's it. She wakes him up.
That's it.
Hey, come on. I'm winning here. And then Charlotte, big boot. 1, 2, 3. Charlotte beats Ronda.
Yeah.
That was a surprise.
That was a thing that happened.
What did you think?
Oh, it was...
You as you say, you very much thought it might have gone a bit piam shooty.
Yeah, maybe I'm just a wimp or something, but at times I was like, man, this is pretty hard to watch because they were really laying it in. And again, that could have just been to make this look as personal as possible with the material that they've been given and everything. There were some moments like when Ronda, she just pulls Charlotte off the apron like in an arm drag thing, and she just like, Charlotte full on just falls on her back and looks like she's pretty badly winded. There's like lots and lots of little moments where I was like, I don't know if I can enjoy it as much because it looks so stiff. To the point where I'm thinking as a viewer, I hope that person is genuinely okay in this moment because
Yes.
it looks almost a little bit too real. I think this was a different scrappy affair than say the Bianca and Becky match at the start. Like that felt very deliberate. And this one felt very actually personal. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's funny how Charlotte seems to always find herself in these matches that feel a little bit ugly personal. Like there's a real animosity to, it just seems to be Charlotte that kind of these things seem to rotate around. It got better as it wore on.
Yes.
I think it suffered with the crowd a bit because the crowd were just worn out from just seeing flipping adrenaline in their souls. So that was a bit of a tough one, but they did, to their credit, they did bring them round by the end. Yeah. But I think it was a lack of connection through a lot of it. And I don't want to, it doesn't deserve a C because there was a lot of good stuff
There
in
was,
there.
yeah.
I kind of feel like maybe if you'd had swapped Becky and Bianca with Charlotte and Ronda, would that have been a happier moment? I don't know. I feel like this was put very high up in the card, and I feel like it shouldn't have been. I feel a B. Is a B too polite?
No, I think a B is good because, like you were saying,
certainly not an A. It's certainly not an A.
Some good stuff in this match, and if it was genuinely all planned out for it to be as it was, then they did a good job because I believed that it was that it was all personal and all a shoot and whatnot. Like, I think that's fair enough. I think Charlotte's a good shout here to stay as champion,
especially when we don't think that Ronda's really. I mean, obviously, people outside the arena were like, "Yeah, I want to see Ronda. I want to see Ronda clatter." But I don't feel, outside of that, I don't really feel the connection with Ronda.
No, me neither. Not in this run. And I think from what we saw as well, some of the execution of some moves, I don't think she's quite ready yet to be a champ. Even though we've seen her as a champion.
We've seen her as a champ before.
Exactly, but there's just something missing this time.
Yeah, which is why I always ask the question: like, Is she having a good time?
Yeah.
I get the vibe she's not. I'm not saying she's phoning it in. No. But I get the vibe that she's not like as on board as she was with her first run.
Yeah.
be that as it may.
We'll give it a B then, eh?
We'll give it a B.
Give it a B.
We'll give it a B. Otherwise, Ronda will come out and beat us up. Super chats. Thank you, N64 Life Podcast. Cheers, Cliff. Where I cried when Doug Williams retired, and then he came back. Cried when Tyler and Dunn versus Tyler versus Dunn at Takeover. Cried when Drew won the title. I like crying at wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And it's I think it's wrestling should always make you emotional. It should strive to, at least.
If you like it, you like it, you know?
Yeah. Dawn, a.k.a. Smiley Girl. $5 through Super Chat. Thank you. Been watching wrestling for a long time. Cody coming back and getting that pop is one of the biggest I've ever heard. You can tell everyone was pumped. Is it as big? Okay, it was big. It was a big reaction. Amazing reaction. Proper, like, what the heck moment. And which I thought was great. Where does it sit in terms of the AJ Styles Royal Rumble pop?
Oh.
Where does it sit in terms of the Linda pop?
Oh, well, can anything actually top the Linda pop?
Nothing tops the Linda pop.
Nothing
We'd
tops
rather
the
have
Linda
a
pop.
bowl of Linda pop.
We would rather have a bowl of Linda pops.
The Linda pop from WrestleMania X7, which we're talking about. You can watch myself, Sam Driver, Matthew Gregg, and Atkins from the Classic Raw Review doing a special watch-along of WrestleMania X7. If you haven't watched enough wrestling already, the audio is on the podcast feed and Patreon. Patreon.com/Cultaholic. Oh, look at
Even
that.
Graham's in it. Graham's having a good time. Thank you so much for the donation, Graham. Cultaholic WrestleMania X7 watch-along rules.
Thanks, Graham. It does rule. And it's free on the podcast. And if you're a Patreon, you can watch it. That's a good.
We've also got another one from Gar Monroe there. Let this sink in. Not only did he take probably the last ever stunner at the grandest stage, Byron Saxton closed WrestleMania. What
the
a man.
boyhood dream
What a man.
has come true. Let's get into that final bit then, shall we? The main event of the evening, it's the KO Show with special guest Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kevin Owens kind of runs down Texas a little bit more, saying, hey, I spoke some truths about you. You're all a bit rubbish. And he says, hey, you're all cheering for Steve Austin. He'll come out whenever I say he's going to come out. Of course, the glass shatters. Austin comes out whenever he wants to come out. Austin looks great.
Austin looks amazing. I want to shout out as well, I think the one Canadian person in the front row who has the cojones to hold up a Canadian sign at the front as well. Oh my goodness gracious. In the great state, deep in the heart of Texas. Like, what the balls on that man are huge. Stone Cold looks $1 trillion.
He does. And he came out with both knee braces, with his shorts on, 316 shirt, post the crowd, and then it started to disappear after the back.
Yeah, where's he going?
Yeah. Turns up in his ATV, drives it down to the ring. It's like Sheriff Stone Cold again from 2004. He gets into and then once he gets into the ring, he just chucks all the KO Show signage out of the ring.
So good.
Literally just the chairs left. Kev sits him down. They're having a little bit of a chat back and forth, and Austin's like, you were talking trash about the great state of Texas, calls him some names. And then Kevin Owens reveals this has all been a subterfuge.
Whoa!
He isn't here to interview Steve Austin. He's here to challenge Steve Austin to a match. No holds barred right now in Texas at WrestleMania. If you don't think you can do it, then take your pack of beer, get the hell out of my ring. And then Austin is just silent for ages, and the crowd are just Austin.
He stares down that hard cam, and that gives you shivers as well. Like he stares down, and you can just another professional. Like no one can touch him when it comes to storytelling. Even though this is like, there's not really been. I mean, there has been a build to this, but not with the two people physically in the ring together. And then you see Stone Cold just stare down that camera. It's like he's never been away. He's like still so damn good.
I get why Kevin Owens re-signed now.
Yeah.
And why there was ever any doubt. My heart was with Kevin Owens a little bit because there's part of you that goes, wow. Like 10 years ago, you were smashing it in Ring of Honor with El Generico. I think it was 10 years, almost the day, last man standing match for Ring of Honor.
Wow.
And there you are headlining WrestleMania with Steve Austin.
Unreal.
On your terms. It's great. So after the long pause, Austin says, I had my first match here in Dallas, Texas. I could have my last match here in Dallas, Texas, and if you'd like me to stomp a mud hole in this,
oh my God,
in this
sack of
SH1T,
give me a hell yeah.
Oh, it cut, didn't it?
I was like, Are you going off script here, Paul? What's going on?
Big hell yeah. So then Austin says, give me a god, the ref. Because you can't say the other one.
Nope.
You can't say the darnation. But Austin caught himself. Well done, mate. Ref comes down. Chairs go out of the ring. Oh, my God. Stone Cold Steve Austin's having a match.
Stomping a mud hole.
Now, do you think this was the right way to promote Stone Cold Steve Austin's first match back?
We were talking about this before, and we were like, oh, what... Do you think, marketing-wise, you would have sold more tickets if you would have advertised this as Stone Cold Steve Austin's last match? And you rightfully said that could possibly have been the wrong thing to do because then you hype it up too much, right?
Yeah, because then you'll spend weeks and weeks telling people Austin's going to wrestle.
Yep.
Austin's going to wrestle. Whereas here, you're not promising a wrestling
No.
match. You're promising Austin probably going to put some boots in, have a beer, give a stunner. Happy days. So by suddenly announcing, oh, by the way, not only is Stone Cold here and he's going to put some boots in, he's going to have an actual match.
Yeah.
You're over-delivering.
Yes.
So I think, whilst we all thought, a bit weird to have the Kevin Owens show on last, it's a bit like when you're being driven to your surprise birthday party. Why are we going to this particular boathouse?
On this particular day.
Why are we going to this empty hall? Why are we? I've got to pick something up from here. Why are you got to pick it up now? Like it's like,
Yeah.
why have we got the talk show last at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
That's why. We're so burned on the idea of trusting the process. Sometimes we do forget to trust the process. So it's Austin versus Owens, and it is. It's a classic.
Yep.
It's a classic sort of Steve Austin match from the late 90s.
Yeah.
It's battered, it's punches, it's kicks, mud hole stomps outside the ring, over the barricade, beers thrown and stuff.
So good.
Austin takes a suplex on the concrete from Kevin Owens, and every part of me goes, oh no!
Yeah.
Don't! He's like cracker bread. Don't! Austin's fine, of course, he's fine. Austin fights back from that. They end up driving. So Kevin Owens is taking a shoe in.
Yeah.
And he tries to ride the ATV out of the building, but he can't get it to start. So then Austin attacks him on it, and then Austin drives with him in the front, a bit like an Audrey Hepburn movie, like a nice romantic. A bit like,
holding the arms.
a bit like Paris when it sizzles. It's lovely. It's lovely. And then they get to the top of the ramp, and then just hits the suplex.
Man, I was like even scared. Like even where he takes the suplex on the concrete, that's bad enough. But even at the same time, if Stone Cold was to do the suplex on the concrete, that would have hurt him as well. And he goes up on top of the ramp and then pulls off 2 suplexes on the ramp as well.
He's just spamming
What
that
a guy.
short grapple and B down.
Yeah.
And he fights back up towards the ring. And then Owens rallies back and hits a stunner.
Yeah.
Gets a very near fall on Steve Austin off of a
Does.
stunner. But don't worry, Austin will indeed rally. Owens goes to hit Austin with a steel chair. We get the classic Kurt Angle spot from O2.
Perfect.
Swing the chair bounces off the top rope.
Bonk.
Bonks Kevin Owens. Stunner from Austin to Owens. 1, 2, 3. Austin wins. Austin has some beers. Thanks, Texas. Byron Saxton forgets his place. Gets into the ring and goes, I want some beers with you, Steve.
Which is, consequently, the big beefy bussing moment of the whole entire night. 1. Boom.
It's time for my big beefy bussy moment.
That's the moment. Tom's done it perfectly. The man sells it like nobody's business. He is like, he's The Rock. If The Rock dialed it up to like 1,000 million again, it was so perfect to see. And like, I was thinking about so many moves throughout the whole entire evening, like the avalanche inverted suplex that Seth does to Cody and whatnot, and other things too. But like, how could it not be? How could the big beefy bussing moment not be Stone Cold giving someone a stunner and that person selling it to perfection in Texas, in Dallas, in his last match? Like, it was perfection. Like, just WrestleMania night 1 so far this year just exceeded expectations and made me feel things that I've not felt for wrestling in a while, Tom. It was very strange. It was really nice.
So much so that Byron Saxton has made it into the hallowed halls of Andrew's big beefy bussy moment.
Absolutely.
Amazing. So the stunner that he sold, like I said, expertly sold, rock-esque selling of that stunner.
It really
from Byron
was
Saxton.
and you knew it was coming as well. But that's the thing you anticipate the most. You know that the stunner's coming. It's how are they going to sell the stunner? And he was like, he knew what he was doing.
You and I think, both knew the moment that he stepped into the ring. It's like,
yeah,
he's getting a stunner, that boy.
Yeah, even his brother as well, Tom.
Well, that was
like,
well. This is a great
ooh.
little bit after that, where Austin's brother, who is seldom seen, he gets into the ring and toasts a beer with Steve. They little cheer and they stand there together. And Austin even goes into his ear and says, "You're gonna have to leave, because if you don't, I'm gonna have to stun you." And I reckon there's some truth to that. Like, if his brother stuck around for too long, then everyone's gonna go, "Oh, hang on, he's there to get a stunner."
Favoritism.
And then you've got to deliver. Yeah, nepotism. That's what it is. Imagine if Austin's brother just battered Austin.
Oh, and then we get a
star.
huge run for the whole entire year until next year's WrestleMania.
Andrew, what did you make of the Kevin Owens show with Steve Austin / Kevin Owens versus Steve Austin, the main event of WrestleMania 38 Night 1?
I thought it was the perfect way to close out WrestleMania Night 1. Like, was it the best match of the card? Not by any means. Did it pull on the nostalgia strings? Absolutely. Like, it was really sort of emotional when he was talking about, you know, he had his first match here in Dallas, Texas. Why not have my last match in Dallas, Texas as well? Like, obviously with the WrestleMania 19 stuff, he didn't necessarily end on his own terms. And like this was how he wanted to go out, and you could feel it, and he put everything into it. He looked great. Kevin Owens made Stone Cold look great, and as well, Stone Cold made Kevin Owens look great too. Like, they both played off each other so well. I don't think you could have had a better opponent for Stone Cold to have his last match with either. Like, I think they're the perfect match for one another. They're quite similar in a lot of ways, you know. And I enjoyed this. I thought it was one of the most entertaining things we've seen in a little while as well.
Yeah, there was a wholesomeness to the violence in our final match of the evening. It was a throwback to the Attitude Era,
Yeah.
in terms of like an Austin style Attitude Era match, brawls around the ring, suplexes on concrete, just all fists, no technicals. It rolled back the years for Steve Austin. Attitude, that begins with an A. I think we give this a very nostalgic A.
I agree.
I'd give it
A
an
for
A.
Austin.
It's not going to win match of the year in terms of technicals, but it was a good time had by all. Lovely to see Austin back. They have to go away to top night 1.
And that's the thing as well. Like, they've done such a good job of there being so many surprises. We came into this WrestleMania, I feel like, quite tepid. Like, there wasn't too much. We didn't feel too much excitement, I don't think. Obviously, we knew, or we had obviously huge inkling that Cody Rhodes would turn up, but I don't think we sort of understood the impact that it would have when we actually saw him there in the ring. Like, there were very different things. And they did such a good job of not deliberately hyping things up, giving us a little taster. They were like, well, this could happen on night 1. We're not definitively saying it will happen, just in case, you know, it doesn't meet your expectations. And then because of that, subsequently, I think they blew it out of the water.
So WrestleMania Night 1, grade.
I'd give it an A.
I'm going to give it an A with you.
Yeah.
Let's give it an A. Woo! Graded Night 1 A. Cultaholic Live, penultimate episode done. We're back this time tomorrow for the final time for WrestleMania 38 Night 2. We'll do some more wonderful grades, take more of your wonderful super chats. Adam Pacitti is live tonight with live reactions. You have WTF moments on the channel right now. You have what happened at Night 1 now, Night 2 later. Taped reactions with Cowboy Andrew. Win the belt, please.
I'll try.
And Rossi Drip on the channel as well in the next day or so as well. And everything else about WrestleMania you can find at cultaholic.com. I've been Tom Campbell. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And I've been Andrew. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been wonderful.
Together we are at Cultaholic on Twitter. Don't forget to join us. See you tomorrow. Love you. Bye.